101.6 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Wolo. Look up on the wall.
And welcome to TPC Southwind. Yes, indeed, the FedEx St. Jude Championship is about to begin. Next champion will start his rise from here. And, you know, this year, the format is everybody starts even. There's no strokes given until the final round of the playoffs. That would be at Eastlake, where whatever happens in these first two rounds, they have a formula, and there will be an advantage. But Scotty Scheffler in the days before would have had a big lead on everybody coming into this tournament. Rory McIlroy just talked about it. He goes, well, being in my position, I love this new format. And he thought, seriously, it gave everybody a chance. It's like a reset after the regular season. So that is how the playoffs will begin. Of course, tomorrow the Pro-Am going on now, and it's wet. It's raining, spitting a little bit out there. It's been doing that pretty much all morning long, no lightning. So they are playing. Have not seen any scores yet on any of that, but all the pros are taking 9 holes each. So you got Rory's already played. Now that group is with JT Postman. Tony Finau's already played. Max Grazerman, the kid that won last week, is playing. He got in because of that. Billy Horschel, Hoagie, Matthew Pavon, they've all played. All the stars are here. Ludwig Oberg might be one of my picks, and we'll be making picks with Nikki and Johnny. That'll come your way. Near the bottom of the hour, Sung Jae Im is a guy that might be one you want to see teeing off, or actually on the course right now. Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, those would be the two favorites. The Galas out there. I just watched Justin Thomas putt out on 18, so his group started on 10. They're all here. Akshay Bhatia might be a popular choice. Patrick Cantlay. I'll tell you, nobody's talking about Will Zalatoris, and Zalatoris is a guy who likes this course. And honestly, just talking about this golf course was Rory, who had played it. And they love the greens here. First of all, they're the least undulated of the major tournaments, right? And I'm talking Players, the 4 majors, Quail, all the golf courses that are considered really the championship courses that the players think a lot of. And most of those have greens, look at Augusta, that are just impossible. These greens, for the most part, are pretty flat, and they're pretty true. Not saying they're easy, because they'll be 12.5 on the stimp, maybe a little slower today because of the rain, but the players rave about them because they're readable, they're fair, you can make putts. Now, you're not going to go crazy. The last 2 winners were 15 under on this golf course. But it's, if you're precise, a place you can score. Now, you can go crazy and blow up here, too. So it will be interesting to see. Just a couple of notes. The ESPN SP Plus, that's an analytics that takes into account guys that are returning with experience, replacements from last year in certain positions, who you're going to play. Memphis came in at 43. That was just below Boise. So they were the number 2 group of 5. Boy, you got to watch. All year long, we got to watch Boise. We got to watch Liberty. Those are going to be important teams to watch as long as Memphis keeps on winning. Here's one that was really interesting to me. So Boise was number 1. I think they were 38. Memphis was 43. Not far below was Liberty, but they were below Memphis. Then, believe it or not, ahead of any other of the group of the American Athletic Conference schools was Troy. Troy was ahead of Tulane, South Florida, Texas San Antonio, which some have picked ahead of Memphis. Troy was ahead of them, which makes you believe that Troy game, the second game of the year, is not the easy gimme kind of game, a bye game that some people, when they first looked and saw it, they've won the Sun Belt the last couple of years. They got a lot of guys coming back. I know their coach left to go to Tulane. Their quarterback's not there either. But according to this ESPN SB Plus, they got enough people coming back, and they got a good replacement at QB, enough where they're ahead of any other American team behind Memphis. That's crazy, but that's the way it is. So that game, tell you, there's a few games you got to circle. Obviously, Tulane, Texas, San Antonio, Florida State. Troy is a game. Folks, you better come and watch it. It's going to be a real challenge for the U of M. It's not any kind of gimme at all. I'll tell you what might be a gimme, though, is what's going on at Family Leisure, because you know the summer party thing is over, but now the biggest spa sale ever is going on with great prices on all their spas. The cold plunge under $3,000. You've heard all the stars talk about how they start their day. Cold plunge sauna, back in the cold plunge, gets everything going. You can get one of those. Good price. The swim spas, $17,999. Those things are incredible. All the above-ground pools, there is a major price reduction on those. There's still wonderful patio furniture that's for sale. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Witten Road right there. Family Leisure, where the major spa sale is going on. We're going to talk at the end of the hour to our friend Jason Munz, who's written nice pieces and is covering the golf tournament. We'll talk a little bit about Jeremy Kipnis, who is leaving. There's one left to schedule. Who's going to be that final game for the U of M basketball team? I should mention, Alex Simmons got a heck of a player yesterday. She signed a point guard from Michigan State named Dee Dee Hageman. All she was second team All Big Ten. I think she was supposed to go to Ole Miss. I don't know what happened there. Maybe we'll get the backstory from Jason Munz. And as we mentioned yesterday, Ed Scott hired his first employee. That is the new softball coach, Trina Prater, who came from Campbell. You look at her record, 79-49 over the years that she was there. A couple of NCAA appearances, played at LSU. So I believe that she's going to be a nice pick. And as I said yesterday, look, Stephanie Van Brakel-Prothro, she won 14 games in 2 years. I promise you, I'm betting. Before I see anything, I'm betting Trina Prater gets 14 wins this year. Zach Boyd, real quick, we've got the picks coming up in just a little bit, right after we talk to our historian on golf, and really tennis too, Phil Stukenborg, who is covering this tournament. We're going to chat with him in just a minute. How's the order going? What are we going to pick today, Zach Boyd? How's it going to work?
You have starting to make a little bit of a move, Dave, but the order remains the same.
No!
Yes.
All right, what am I? What kind of money have I got?
Oh, you just cracked the 20 million mark.
20 mil, all right.
Like you're like 500,000 away from Johnny.
And Johnny's second?
Johnny is second.
Oh, wow. 20 and a half? What are you?
I am at 21.2, and then Mickey is still leading the way with 22.8.
Well, 22.8. I could catch him if I picked a winner.
You could.
So, yeah. That will be. That's my hope, is to catch him. That is for sure. All right, let's bring in, if we've got him.
We got him.
A guy who's covered this tournament. I don't know how many years he's covered this tournament. I remember seeing him out at the Old Colonial when I first came in 1981. How many, Phil Stukenborg, how many of these tournaments have you now covered? Good morning.
Good morning. Wait, if you're saying 81, that means you were there when Jerry Pate jumped in the lake, right?
Yes, that is exactly correct.
Oh, I probably started about then, too. So, and maybe did a little bit before then for the old Memphis Press Scimitar. So,
yeah, working for George Lapidus.
So
I do remember those days well. I think it was Jody Mudd. Did Jody Mudd win the last one at Colonial? And I'm trying to remember who won the first one here. Isn't that right?
That was it. Yeah, the first one here was in 91. because that's when that's when they first started playing there. Now Fred Couples won in '91.
Was he the first winner here?
No. You know what? I'm mixing that up with something else. You're right.
Yeah.
It was. Jody Mudd was your last winner at Colonial.
That's what I thought.
John Mahaffey was your
John
winner.
Mahaffey, the little guy who smoked cigarettes all the time.
Yeah.
he was the winner.
John
Daly's
Daly's
first one here. Yeah, John Daly's here, exactly. Yeah, as long as let's take a little walk down memory lane with all of this. I mean, have you got favorite moments here? Or, anywhere in this tournament?
I have pockets of them, Believe it or not, back when it was just a regular tour stop, you remember the local guys who come through and maybe are on the leaderboard after 2 days, and how excited they are. And they're
how about David Gossett?
David Gossett.
David Gossett on me? Yeah.
Yeah. Casey Wittenberg, not a great success, but enough to where you remember that. But also the guys like, a crazy guy like Dickie Pride who comes out of nowhere and wins, about for the only time in his career. I thought that was kind of funny to see that. There's all kind of great stories. I want to think. I mean, I go back to I wasn't covering it, but I had a friend who lived right off the 16th fairway at the Old Colonial, and just going and seeing Hal Sutton win in a playoff, and I think jump into his caddy's arm, it just became a real iconic picture of the tournament. So
I remember that. I remember Hal Sutton walking. I walked with him a little bit, and I remember thinking how much bigger and fitter. Now, that was not in the era of what we've got now with the fitness level of these players, but he was. You could tell this dude was an athlete when you walked by Hal Sutton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So he was personable. Even before that, the late great Chi Rodriguez played a few times, and if you followed him, you were going to be entertained as if you were following the leader makeup.
Right. Chi, who just passed away, what was he, in his late 80s, I believe?
I think he was. I think he was in his late 80s.
Yeah. I always remember the sword routine with that putter when he made a big putt.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks, when you think of Latin players, you think of Lee Trevino, and you should, because Trevino was really good here in Memphis as well. But the first one like that was Chi.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what, Dave? You also remember the great approach by Dustin Johnson on 18 a few years back.
Oh my gosh, when he knocked it in.
Yeah. And so those are the things that kind of stick in your memory.
That may be the most iconic moment of this tournament. And look, they've had tournaments here forever. I know Jim Nance was even talking the other day on the broadcast about how the great streak of Byron Nelson ended when the tournament was at Chickasaw Country Club. He had won 11 in a row, and that streak came to an end. Memphis has had an important part of golf history. That streak ending there, Guy Berger's 59 at Colonial South, which to me is still the greatest sub-60 round. I know Furyk has a 58, which was
just how long the course
pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now let's live clean in place.
Hey, Dave, this is kind of interesting. Al Geiberger comes back here for some kind of to be honored, 20 years after he's shooting the 59, and they're out. They're having a dinner. You may have attended. It's out at Old Colonial, and I have a cousin who was a photographer, and he was there that night. I wasn't, and he knows what I do. He said that Al Geiberger went up to him at the dinner and said, "Hey, if you got a second, can you walk outside with me?" And he went back to I guess he finished that round at the 9th hole. And he walked back out to the hole. He placed the ball down, and he took the same putt and made it.
Is that right?
And he's taking pictures of it. He's taking pictures of it, and I said, "You didn't call me?"
You know what? I will tell you that in a little bit, Johnny Lyon will be on this show. Johnny Lyon was at that dinner. I did not go to that. Johnny was one of the guys that helped put that thing together. So we'll ask him about that moment. But Memphis's place in history is pretty secure that way. And then, obviously, FedEx We love FedEx. They as long as they are the tour sponsor, we'll be set for sure. There's no doubt about that. But that's why this is the first round. I'm going to tell you another moment that I thought was, well, it didn't live up to the billing, but if you'll recall, the final round a couple of years ago, might have been 2019, when Brooks Koepka and Rory McIlroy were in the final pairing, and everybody thought we'd have a major shootout. And Brooks Koepka, who ended up getting a bunch of bonuses that day for winning, I think, money winner and got a bonus. I mean, he was unbelievable. But he blew Rory McIlroy away here.
Yeah. I think he had like $10 million that day. There was some kind of –
that's exactly right.
That was the first WGC.
That's right. It was the first WGC. He won like I want to say it was $2 million maybe for the purse, and then because of the bonuses he got from all the weeks, he ended up being $10 million winner. I ended up doing a bunch of interviews with him because I'm still doing the PA on 18, and my duty then was to go interview the winner. So you did it there. We did it for FedEx. We did it for another group of sponsors. And, man, I'd never seen a happier guy. It was a $10 million payday.
Oh, yeah. And what is it now for winning? It's $20 million.
Well, the winner now gets $4 million. $20 million purse, $4 million. But if you win the playoff in Atlanta in 3 weeks, the bonus is $25 million, isn't it?
It is.
You get the $4 million for the win plus the $25.
Yes.
And there's so much money, Let's face it, Phil Mickelson was right. They had money, they were holding out. Not many people remember Colonial. I do, and I love that golf course. In fact, my preference is that golf course to this. I don't think players would say that, though. They rave about Southwind. Every one of them. Rory just did it in the Phil Cannon Media Center.
And that's why I think someone like Rory could have a good week. He's had some pretty good results here, and that, I mean, if you love coming back to a course, I mean, go back to Daniel Berger or Tom Kite back, winning back-to-backs. So
how about Robert Garrigus?
Robert Garrigus, who we'll always remember.
Yeah,
maybe that's the other. Maybe that's the other part of you remember the good ones, but the bad ones can kind of be memorable too.
That was not quite John Vandevelde, but kind of like it.
Yeah.
Give me your picks. You're covering this thing. Who do you like in this?
Well, for that reason, I'm still kind of leaning toward a little bit toward Rory, just for how well he's played here. But the course sets up pretty good for Xander too. So those would be my top two picks.
You're not even picking the number one player in the world?
Well, you know what I didn't know until doing some research? I'd forgotten he made his PGA Tour debut here at 18 years old.
Scotty Scheffler did?
Yeah.
Wow, you're giving me some news. I didn't realize that. His PGA Tour debut was here?
He was it was as an 18-year-old. He made his debut.
Did he get a sponsor's exemption maybe from Phil Cannon or
he may have kind of like Jordan Spieth did too early in his career.
Yeah. Well, they started, if you'll recall, before this became like the WGC and all the other stuff, when it was a regular tour event, they had 7 sponsors exemptions. So they would give one to a pro like, say, Bobby Cochran, or a younger guy. Goose Munguia got one in years past. And then they started, Phil Cannon started this. They started to go toward junior golfers that they would give an exemption to, so that when they became stars, they would come back, right?
Right.
Thinking ahead, Spieth got one. Maybe that was how Scheffler got one.
It's a smart practice. The pro tennis event started doing the same thing late in its existence. Trying to get these, whatever young American was like breaking through. They just bring them in and hope for the best.
Well, Unbelievable stuff. Last thing, I'm going to switch gears on you.
Okay.
You do so much with tennis. That Leftwich Center is sitting there. There was just an event that was held in South Haven by our friend Evans.
Keith Evans. Yep.
Keith Evans. And it was a junior tournament of up-and-comers. Are we going to see an event at Leftwich Center? Because it seems to me it's capable of holding at least some sort of lower-tier pro tournament.
I think eventually you should get something along the lines of what's called a challenger, which is just below having a major tournament like you did here. For those who enjoy tennis, it's very very enjoyable to watch that because all the players are fighting for points and to get on the a permanent place on the main tour. So a challenger in that venue would be perfect. They had talked about it when they opened it. There was one available that would have opened bang bang when the center opened, the facility opened. But they felt that it wouldn't be fair to Memphians trying to just get used to the place and start playing there. They didn't want to shut it down basically for a week or so.
Right.
So I would think in the future, yes, that you should get when those kind of are available on a pretty regular basis.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you out here all week as you cover another one. Who are you covering this for again, real quick?
It's for an outfit that provides, news service to USA Today and all its affiliates. It's called Field Level Media.
It could end up in the commercial appeal then, right? I mean, because that's going to.
It could. I mean, they're going to have Jason Munz and company out there. So,
right.
But it could be, and there's an online edition that's updated that it might be in a national sports section.
All right. Well, have fun, my friend. I always enjoy talking with you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I'll see you out there.
You got it. That's Phil Stukenborg, who is covering this tournament again all the way back to the early 80s. He and I go back. It's a lot of fun to watch all this and to chat about it. We got to take a break. We're going to be talking even more about it. Our panel, Mickey Barker, head of Memphis Public Golf, and Johnny Lyon, all will make picks, and we'll talk FESJC when we come back to Southwind in just a minute.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, they're proud to be here for their neighbors while giving back to communities across the state throughout the year, every year. This month, they're honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers as they make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament fundraiser a resounding success. Giving back to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which helps treat and defeat childhood cancer, is a meaningful effort that is very close to their hearts. This year, their goal is to reach $3 million in donations for kids at St. Jude's, and they couldn't do it without the support of their amazing volunteers. To all the participants, thank you for being a part of this most important endeavor to lift up so many families across the state from right here in Memphis, Tennessee. To read more about Team Blue volunteers, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, Healthy Places, and other ways they're devoted to helping our community, please visit bcbst.com.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
You've got real work to do. Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. We've got a huge variety of metals in stock, and we cut to size fast. Bottom line, we get it done fast, so you get it done fast. Doesn't get easier than that. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store or buy online at metalsupermarkets.com.
Welcome back in at TPC Soplan. We got so many sponsors we want to thank. Landers Ford in particular, our title sponsor, scoreboard sponsor, and we'll have plenty of updates for you tomorrow and Friday. That comes from Sissy's Log Cabin. First National Bank, Jason's Deli, Wade Inc., that's your North Mississippi John Deere dealer. Ronnie Grisanti's, love that place. Town Village, Audubon Park, Banyan Tree Realtors, Wilson's Power Wash, need that for my stone in the backyard. DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and the Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council. Come in, see us, register for 4 tickets. I was talking about that Memphis and Troy football game and how important that is. We're giving away 4 tickets later in the week if you come in and put your name in the entry box. In the meantime, let's bring in the panel. Mickey Barker's going to join us. Johnny Lyon's going to join us. It's all brought to you by Memphis Public Golf. Let's start first with Johnny, because Phil Stukenborg was just talking about the history of Memphis golf, and we talked about Byron Nelson's streak ending at Chickasaw, but that 59, that always, to me, will be the greatest round in the history of golf at the Colonial South. And Johnny, I know you helped to arrange a dinner to bring back the great Al Geiberger, and apparently 25 years later, he reenacted that putt on number 9 and made it. Do you remember that? Did he actually go out there and do that? Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning, Wolo. Yes, it was about 4 years ago. Al Geiberger came to Memphis. He had agreed to, through the Encore Golf Ball Company, to the winner of this little contest would play with Al Geiberger and Al Geiberger's son. So the day before they were going to have this little match at Colonial, I called Al and said, let's go out and have lunch on Friday, and I'll pick you up at the hotel. And I picked him up. We came to Colonial. I brought him to lunch. We went to the driving range, and then we went out and played the front 9, played 6 holes of the front 9. And we did a little reenactment of the winning putt, and he made it. And he made the putt, and then he turned his head. He didn't even see it go in. He's an amazing guy.
Wow, that's incredible. How far was that putt?
It was about 12 feet.
Wow, I love it. That is such a good story. I know that's a great memory. I'll get to your memories in a second. Let me bring in the head of Memphis Public Golf, the guy who's done an unbelievable job. If you look at Audubon, which I rode this past week, give me your favorite FedEx St. Jude Classic memory. Good morning, Mickey Barker.
Good morning, Dave. I guess my favorite memory would be it was at Colonial. I forget.
Colonial?
I think I was in college.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in college, and Mike Holbert ended up winning in a playoff on number 16, and he tossed the golf ball to me and a couple of my buddies were around the green there, and we had a scramble for it. I didn't come up with it, but I remember that very, very clearly.
I'm trying to remember. Did you ever play in it? Didn't you qualify one year and play in it?
I did. I played in 2005. So obviously that was a great memory for me as well.
Yeah. Who did you play with in that tournament?
I played. One of the guys' name was Roland Thatcher. He probably did his. I think that may have been his best event of his career, or at least to that point. That year, he played very well. He was in the top 10 for sure.
He must have been inspired by you. Who else? There's one more, right? You played in threesomes.
Yeah, we played threesomes. Chris, and I believe his last name was Johnson, but not. I know at one point he was on Golf Channel on the Big Break, comeback player or something like that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got to play for 2 days, and then I got to watch it after that.
Well, it's hard to make the cut. I remember Ted Butler saying, and he played in a couple of U.S. Opens. He said he really learned. He played a little exhibition with Lee Trevino, and after that he goes, "No, I better teach golf." because those guys are just too darn good. All right, Johnny Lyon, you go way, way back. So you tell me your favorite moments of the FESJ championship. Now, it used to be the FESJ Classic. Now it's the championship.
Of course, I go way back. When I was 20 years old, I was out there volunteering, and I wound up caddying for Frank Beard. And he made the cut, and that was pretty exciting for a 20-year-old student at Memphis State who thought they were going to work the scoreboard. And but 77 and Al Geiberger was unbelievable, and John Cook, when he 96, when he shot the 26 under, was the tour record. Remember the headline, "Fans baked while John cooked," and yeah.
Well, that's when they decided to change this golf course, by the way. He went to 26 under, as you say. He cooked, and they said, we got to make this golf course harder. And the last 2 years, with phenomenal play, both the champions have been 15 under.
That's still a fantastic score for that golf course.
Oh,
you play it nowadays.
Right. I don't know how they do it.
Man, if I could shoot even par around here, it would be fantastic.
To me, it's hard. I have hard. There's no roll on that Zoysia, and there is length. And but the one thing I will say, and Rory McIlroy said it today, when you're on those greens, they're pretty flat. So if you can learn how to read them, they're so true, and they're going to be fast as could be. They'll be 12.5 on the stimp. All right, we're going to make our picks here in a minute. I should point out, not only have we got the golf tournament, it's Elvis Week, and Dinstall's is celebrating music in Memphis first by launching the new Groovalicious chocolate record in collaboration with Memphis Record Pressing. All proceeds benefiting Stax Music Academy. It's actually a chocolate record with grooves. It is so cool looking. And also they're remembering Elvis with one of his favorite foods. They got banana bites, fresh banana slice on a vanilla wafer, then enrobed in Dinstall's rich milk chocolate. They got chocolate golf balls for this tournament, all available this busy week. Only at Dinstall's, and of course there's 5 of those. My neck of the woods, Laurelwood, where they make it on Pleasant View, Collierville, Germantown, and downtown. It's crazy this week with all kinds of chocolate celebrations at Dinstall's. All right. I'm going first, Johnny second, Zach third, Mickey fourth. Mickey, you've got about a $2.8 million lead on me. That's the difference between first and last. And, of course, you win this, $4 million. So everybody's still in it. I got the first pick. Why would I not take Scotty Scheffler? He just won the Olympics. He's in the groove. He's the best player in the world. I'd be crazy to give that to Johnny Lyon. Johnny, you're second.
Yeah, you're right. You got to take him. You're a Scotty. I pretty much have to take Xander.
I agree with you. I don't know why you would
Never
go
know when he's going to show up. But
yeah. Okay. That means, Zach, you got a lot of good talent in front of you.
I do. Let's go with Patrick Cantlay.
Cantlay, wow, he's going way down the list. That's my man, Zach, who's working his way up the leaderboard. Our leader is Mickey most of the year. All right, my friend, who have you got?
Well, his last name's going to start with M, one for sure, either McIlroy or Morikawa. McIlroy hasn't been a lot of help to me, so I'm going to go Morikawa.
Wow. Gosh, I'm almost afraid to do this, but I cannot take Rory if you're giving him to me. Holy mackerel, look at my lineup. I got to go Rory. All right, Johnny, who you going with?
Yeah, now it gets tougher. I'm going to take Max Gracer-Mann.
You're kidding me. Are you out of your mind? The guy just won. There's no way he's going to go back-to-back at this field.
Well, he's still hot.
He didn't win. He lost. He didn't win. He lost on the last hole.
Yeah, that's
quad.
right. That's right. That's
Still
right.
motivated.
Wow. That comes from out of nowhere, folks. Zach.
Well, let me have Sanjay M.
Ooh, I like that pick.
Well, I'm going to jump right back on the list with Ludwig Oberg.
Oh, gosh. I wanted him so bad. All right. Boy, you're leaving a lot of good players here. I love Fleetwood. Or I could go Will Zalatoris because he plays so good here. But Fleetwood just won a silver medal. I got to go Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood is my pick.
Okay,
Johnny.
Well, I'm taking Billy Horschel.
No, that's a good pick.
Zach?
Zach?
Wait.
Let me have Tony Finau.
He was starting to play better. He's due to win something sooner or later that's big. All right, Mickey, last pick of the FESJC this year.
I'm going to go with Hideki Matsuyama.
Hideki, I love it. So here's the field. Scotty, Rory for me with Fleetwood. Xander, Grazerman from out of nowhere, and Billy Horschel for Johnny. Patrick Cantlay, M, and Finau for Zaxter, and Mickey's got Morikawa, Oberg. I can't believe the guy went sixth. And Hideki Matsuyama, the last of the picks. Guys, terrific. Last thing, what do you think the winning score will be? Last 2 years, 15 under. Same thing. Will this little wetness make it easier for them? What do you think? Johnny?
20 under.
20 under? Woo!
Yeah, just like every week. Every week they're 20 under. At least.
Mickey?
Yeah, I agree with Johnny. I think it'll be 18, at least 18.
Wow. Zach, what do you think?
I think it's gonna be around 15 under.
I do too. I think 15 under is the number. 20 under. I think they got to make that tougher for a playoff, don't they? We'll see. Gentlemen, it has always been a pleasure. We love these picks. It's still so close down the stretch. So we got 2 more of these, and we'll figure it all out at the end. We're not going to use the $25 million bonus. That would be unfair, but we'll use the $4 million formula the rest of the way. Guys, I appreciate you all, and we also appreciate Memphis Public Golf, which brings this every single week. Go to MemphisPublicLinks.com. That's the way to make your tee times, especially at Audubon. And, Mickey, I give you a tip of the cap again because I rode Audubon. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see a real course, I mean an NCAA tournament-type course, you want to see regional stuff, I mean this course is that good. That new Hybrid Bermuda is amazing. Hey, look at all the courses that have been redone. From Galloway a few years ago to what they did at Overton, Pine Hill, and now what they have done in Audubon, it is amazing. Golf is an amenity of a great city. Memphis understands that, and that's why you need to go to play Memphis Public Golf. Jason Munz will be joining us momentarily here live at the Hub. Our coverage brought to you by Landers Ford, Sissy's Log Cabin, First National Bank, Jason's Deli, Wade Inc., Ronnie Grisani's, Town Village, Audubon Park, Banyan Tree Realtors, Wilson's Power Wash, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and our good friends Kevin Kane, J.J. Greer, Melvin Gibson over at Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council. Munzie is next.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Genesis Diamonds' most extreme value on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA diamond ring.
This has been incredible. People have driven
styling packed with modern innovations, riders of all skill levels choose a Honda Rebel. Incredible motorcycles with a stripped-down style and a full package of features. Both the 300 and the 500 offer compact power inside a lightweight frame. Combined with a low slung seat, the Rebel is easy to start on. And with new colors for this year, they are impossible to ignore. Go to Desato Honda to check out the 2023 Honda Rebels. Cruisers with premium style and performance to enjoy every second. Use the street as a racetrack with the law and the
DQ presents. Picture this. Picture the DQ $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Not just the cheeseburger, a bacon cheeseburger, plus fries, drink, and a sundae, all full-sized, all for $7. Because everything's better with bacon. Everything's also better with a side of fries, a refreshing drink, and a sundae to finish. Yum. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee is honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers to make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament a resounding success. Jimmy Monix Mitchell is a committee member of the Players Shuttle Committee. Jimmy, why was it important to you to become a tournament volunteer?
I love volunteering, and being here means something to me with regard to knowing that it's going to the children. Cancer has impacted my family, and just knowing that the things that we're doing, the money that's being raised is going towards cancer research, specifically for children. It warms my heart.
So what's your favorite part of being a volunteer?
I literally get to interact with every golfer because we drive them from hole 9 to hole 10. So I get to experience whether or not they're having a good day or a bad day based on how talkative they are when they get on the golf cart, and I really enjoy that.
To read more about how Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee helps our communities, please visit bcbst.com.
Memphis, the playoffs are back. Come see the PGA Tour's best compete for the trophy, the FedEx St. Jude Championship, August 14th through 18th. Witness the drama as 70 players arrive in Memphis and only 50 move on. Tickets are on sale now at FedExChampionship.com.
Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshik.
Welcome back to TPC Southwind. We're going to talk, and I always love doing this, with our good friend, Jason Munz. He's brought to you in part by Grind City Brewing, a product that I know he loves, especially Poppy's Pills, the Pilsner. He likes the Thaddeus. I think he likes the Belga, the Blue Moonish wheat ale that they got. I mean, that's pretty good stuff. But downtown, he loves the venue. They have concerts there. There's no bigger music guy than Jason Munz. Well, maybe John Bifus and Bob Mayer. But other than those two guys, Munzy's on top of it. And this week, on top of golf, it's so strange to see you with a typewriter at a golf course, normally or a computer, I should say. Typewriters are long gone. TPC Southwind and golf, all of a sudden.
I know.
You're a guru of everything.
I mean, this is going to be my 5th tournament that I've covered.
Wow.
So I'm excited about it, and I could do without this wetness. But because, it kind of came out of nowhere. I went to bed last night thinking that there was maybe a decent chance rain on Sunday, but
you didn't watch Ron Childers. He said it was going to rain today.
Oh, I missed it then.
Sprinkling all morning.
Well, he's right. He was right.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad. It could be a lot worse.
No, as long as there's no lightning, no play, and it's really just spitting. It's not too bad. I don't know if that held any of the galleries down because for a Wednesday pro-am, pretty good crowds out here, I think.
Yeah. It's been. I was out walking around about 9 o'clock this morning, and there were quite a few fans here. And you go to the fan shop, and you just sort of walk around a little bit, and you see that there are some numbers out here on a drizzly Wednesday, so that's good. That bodes well for the rest of the weekend.
You've also written some football. You're doing everything. You've written some football stories. ESPN came out with their SP Plus rankings. Memphis just behind Boise at 43. But you know what's interesting to me? Ahead of every other American Athletic Conference school in that rating, which is about who's coming back, replacement, who you're going to play, those kind of projections, analytics. Troy was ahead of every other AAC team. That Troy game is bigger than people think.
I agree with that. I mean, every game is going to be big this year for Memphis, obviously, because they've got such high expectations and such high aspirations. So really, every game is going to be very important. But especially that one. Especially, I mean, they're all going to be big, but Troy, like, if they're going to be sneaky good this year, then yes, that one becomes even more imperative.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go all over the place. Back to golf for a second. Nice piece on Dwight Drinkard, and you did a little more digging. Drinkard did introduce Hush Y'all here.
Yeah.
But apparently he stole that from Atlanta?
And they apparently borrowed it from Jamaica.
Wow. That was Hushman or something?
Hushman, yeah, down in Jamaica. And the organizers of the Atlanta Classic sort of took it and made it Hush Y'all, and that's where Dwight Drinkard saw it. He brought it to Memphis, and, it caught on more here and became more synonymous with Memphis than it did Atlanta. So, and the Atlanta Classic's not even around anymore. So, there's definitely some staying power with that slogan. And
right.
I mean, it's to me that was like when my first time coming out here and covering one of these things, 2019. Like, that was one of the things that really just jumped out, was like, oh, it's got its own Southern signature spin on this tournament.
So they don't have the Atlanta Classic anymore, but they got Eastlake, right?
Yeah.
That's where it all finishes. They must
Players.
not use Hush Y'all there, huh?
I guess not. I mean, and if they do, it's just no. I guess they don't.
Nobody knows it if they do.
Right.
They know
Nobody
it
talks about it if they do.
It is kind of cool.
Yes.
You're 5 years. Your favorite moment here so far?
I got to say, the Zalatoris, the way that all played out.
Yeah, that was great.
That playoff in 2022, was it? Like with
the
because
Glover won it last year.
Yeah, the ball ping-ponging off the rocks and stuff, and like that
right.
whole scene on it was at 11?
11.
Yeah. Like that was really cool. But for me,
were you here when DJ canned it on 18?
No, that was the year before.
Right
I
before.
think.
Okay.
My first year was the year Brooks Koepka won, where
just
he
mowed down Rory.
Yes, where he didn't show up for his round on Sunday until like 10 minutes before his tee time or something like that, and that became a big storyline. Like I remember vividly sitting in the media tent thinking, or walking around the putting green and the driving range thinking, Brooks is going to be teeing off soon, and I don't see him. So I went out I found where his parking spot was going to be, and I stood there until he drove up.
Wow!
And got video of him getting out of the car and walking through the parking lot.
How many minutes before his tee time?
I don't remember exactly, but it couldn't have been more than 12. It was something.
12 minutes?
It was
no warm up then.
I think there was a brief, like
2 swings,
maybe some stretching or a swing or two. But I remember I put the video of him walking through the parking lot, and basically just walking straight up to the tee box on social media, and it kind of went viral a little bit. So that was kind of a memorable thing.
And then he kicked the, what?
He did.
Out of Rory McIlroy. We thought that would be unbelievable. And it was over in 7 or 8 holes. It was crazy.
He did.
It was crazy. All right, I got a lot of ground to cover with you because we got a lot of stuff going on. One game left to schedule for Penny, who's scheduled to come through here in just a couple of moments. You want to venture a guess?
Maybe we can get him to tell us who it is.
You already know.
Maybe.
Give me a guess.
All right, I'll give you a guess.
Okay.
I think it is going to be – I'll echo what I said a few weeks ago to you, that I think it's obviously going to be a home game. It's going to be a bye game. But I don't think it is going to be one of those bye games that Memphis kind of
always I thought that was Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
That already happened. You saying the same thing for this next one?
I think we're going to have a similar situation.
Wow, so that'll be a heck of a – there's not a real bye game in there then.
Right. There is no Jackson State.
Wow.
This is my guess. I don't think we're going to see like an Alabama State or a UT Martin or something like that. I don't anticipate.
It's another mid-major in the same sort of ballpark as Louisiana Tech?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm
pretty
hearing.
good.
That's what I'm hearing.
That's pretty good.
And it's not going to be, if I had to guess, I don't think it's going to be a mid-major that is like down right now. So it's a really, really, really good schedule.
Wow. Who do you think could Alex Simmons get next? I mean, she's unbelievable here. Women's basketball, you wrote the story. She just got Dee Dee Hageman, who, by the way, was the point guard last year at Michigan State and was second team All Big Ten. What's the story there? Because that was not her initial transfer school, not Memphis. How did Alex Simmons snare her?
She was going to Ole Miss after she went in the transfer portal from her time at Michigan State. She's got 1 year left. She was going to go to Ole Miss, and nobody has told me this directly, but kind of reading the writing on the wall, I think the FedEx NIL deal probably had a hand in this. Be my guess.
Be your guess. Well, FedEx said money was going to football and women's basketball, the majority of it, right?
They did.
With some football,
men's basketball,
and women's basketball.
And then they said other women's sports beyond those three.
Like volleyball? Volleyball needs some help.
It was going to be other women's sports. So like baseball was not going to be included, at least in this first year. Men's tennis wasn't going to be included, at least in this first year. But, yeah, I this late in the game, I can't think of any other. She doesn't have any connection to Alex Simmons that I know of. She doesn't have any connection to Memphis before this that I know of. She said she did an interview with On3 yesterday, where she said this gives her an opportunity to play against her sister. She said that her sister plays for a team, an AAC
in the
team.
AAC.
But I cannot envision a scenario where she's like, I want to play against my sister my last year. Memphis has a spot. I'll go there. I have a strong feeling that this is an NIL-driven thing, which is great, that they have that kind of money to go out and get a girl who is a player who is second team All Big Ten. She averaged 12.5 points a game, and they need.
That's incredible.
That was
that was the missing piece last year.
Yeah, well,
she did not have a point guard.
Right.
She had the shooter that's gone.
Yes.
She had the rebounder who's back.
Yep. She went out and got a couple of other nice.
And she got another big
from Towson. Yep.
Who's 6'3", right?
Yep. And then she went. She got another key transfer from Jackson State, which will, we'll see.
Great scorers, but in a low league. Doesn't seem like that was the problem last year for me.
Yeah.
She brought with her point guard, who never really was really good at that level, was not good enough at the level. American level or beyond, because she's, look, they're playing South Carolina. Now that's an exhibition game. But I think she's building a team here, and I'm high on her now. She had a tough act to follow because Katrina Merriweather was really a good coach.
She was, and still is.
And she is. She's going to turn Cincinnati around. I have no doubt about that. But I think Katrina's Alex is going to do the job. And these little moves that she's made here, getting a point guard, that was the missing piece last year. I think it's terrific.
Well, she went out and actually got a true freshman point guard that her name, off the top of my head, her name escapes me, but it was a very high level recruit that she went and got from point guard who got hurt.
Oh, that's Welch.
No. It was a true freshman. I can't. It's killing me.
Somebody that got recruited this year that won't play this year because of injury.
Well, that might not play or might not be healthy enough to contribute.
I kind of remember that now that you say that.
It's killing me.
But she's a high school player, right?
Yes. Yeah. But she was a big recruit.
Let's not forget last year it hurt that Welch didn't play.
Yes.
And she's back.
Yes.
So
she's put together quite a little squad.
I think so. I think she got a chance to be pretty darn good. What were they picked? Do you remember?
Who?
They haven't had their media days yet.
They haven't.
So we haven't picked that yet. Yeah, no. That's a ways away. And then Ed Scott had his first hire for a coach, and that turns out to be Trina Prater, who had a heck of a run at Campbell.
Yeah, 2 seasons at Campbell, and she got him to the NCAA tournament her first year. This past year, she was named Coastal Athletic Association Coach of the Year. She also had the Player of the Year in that league, the Pitcher of the Year in that league, and the Freshman of the Year in that league. She also had along with those 3 players, 2 other first-team all-conference players. So, I mean, like this is a person. Trina Prater she's coached at Iowa, at UCF. She was the head coach at Buffalo for a little while.
Played at LSU.
Yep, she was the SEC Player of the Year in 2002. I like the hire.
I like it too, and I've already said this on the record. 2 years of Stephanie Van Brakel-Prothro, whose prowess bordered Larry Porter. She won a total of 14 games. Yeah. I'm guaranteeing that Prater wins 14 games in the first year.
I think that's a safe bet. I mean, who knows? Like, is she going to bring people with her?
I don't know.
I know
she's got to, actually.
Well, I know that her Player of the Year, her Freshman of the Year, and her Pitcher of the Year have all
transferred to other places. I
else.
Saw that from your story.
Yeah.
You dug deep. You did good.
I did some digging.
Yeah, I loved it.
The other 2 first-team all-conference selections have not publicly – they are both in the transfer portal, and they have not transferred anywhere.
Maybe they come here.
Maybe she gets them.
Well, I hope those 2 twins, they have some twins that I think were from Jackson or somewhere nearby. They're both pretty good.
Yeah.
One's a pitcher. The other can hit the heck out of the ball. They're both pretty good. I hope they both stay.
Yeah, right.
That you build with what she's bringing and a couple that hang over. I think they got 14 games, a low bar, but I think they could get there. All right, finally tell me who's going to win this tournament.
I think so. Like, Scotty's winning everything, right? And what he's not winning, Xander's winning. So those are my picks. Like, I don't want to overthink it. Like, I know that the favorite hasn't really ever won here, or at least in recent memory. Like, if you come into this tournament as the favorite,
Dustin Johnson probably did. That's the last one.
That was a little while ago.
Will Zalator certainly wasn't. Lucas Clover certainly
was not. I doubt Abraham Answer was.
No, definitely not.
So, I know that recent history would suggest that it's not going to be a favorite, but again,
it's going to be one of these.
Scotty's got 6 wins this season. Xander's got 2 majors.
Rory's going to be. He'd like to turn his season around and make it a great year.
He tied for 3rd here last year.
Yeah.
Maybe he kind of,
Well, we know how good he plays here. He loves the golf course. So
yes,
Rory's going to be. I think it's going to be a favorite. I do. I think it's Scotty, Xander, Rory.
I
wouldn't mind Tommy Fleetwood, who just won a silver.
Yeah, I'd like to pick Victor Hovland because he.
What has happened to Victor Hovland? I wouldn't.
Well, he won what the 2 of the 3 playoff events last year and won the FedEx Cup.
But
and played really well here last year.
Yeah, but he hasn't struggled. He's struggled
the whole year. But he has been
year.
very bad this year, or not as good. But but the point is, I'd like to pick him, and it'd be a good story.
Well, that could be a sleeper for you, but good luck on that. I don't see it.
No, I don't either.
Jason,
maybe Patrick Cantlay. I don't know.
Looking forward to rehashing this next week and talking to you about who that game. Maybe Penny's going to tell us who that final game will be.
We'll cross our fingers.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you the rest of the week here. That'll do it for us on this Wednesday. It's been brought to you in part by the Eflin Insurance team. Just like Jason and I have just collaborated, that's how Matt does insurance. He collaborates with you, gets to know you and your family and your budget to pick out for you the most perfect protection for your home, your auto, or your future with life insurance. Now, he does the same kind of thing with small to mid-sized businesses. That's his specialty. Gets to know you, your employees, your products, figures out what your business might be like down the road and what your budget is for protection, and then he finds the perfect commercial insurance. Big Tiger supporter. That's the Eflin Insurance team. Go collaborate and get protected the best way. Johnny Radio, he comes your way in just a moment, live here at beautiful TPC Southwind. I'll see you again bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everybody.